Good morning, everybody. And it's Monday and it's Start Your Day. And a very warm welcome to you all because it is very chilly out there this morning. We've had our first Monday frost, but there's no frost in this studio because we're all raring to go. We can't wait to go. Can we, Chris? How are
We
you doing
cannot
this
indeed.
morning?
I'm fine. And yes, I'm wrapped up for the occasion. Um, it is a little chilly here. Fortunately, we didn't have the frost where
Ah,
you're in because you're a bit further north than I am.
yes.
So even though we're in the same county, sounds strange, doesn't it? We're both in the same county, but you're farther, an hour or two away from me.
Well, that's
But,
right. Yeah.
you know, but good morning to
Lincolnshire
everybody, though.
Lincolnshire is a big county when you think about it. I think it's one of the biggest in
Certainly.
the country.
Is it
So
really?
it's quite big and it covers quite a lot of quite a big area.
It's
So,
amazing how long I've lived in Lancashire and I know so little about it. It's astounding, really, isn't it?
well, you haven't been up to my part of the county yet, but I hope to rectify that soon. So, but where you live is beautiful. So you've got a lovely little spot there where you live. So it's nice.
Well, I always say where I am, it's more Cambridgeshire because I'm right on the border
Oh,
of Cambridgeshire. So I
yeah,
always class it more with the Cambridgeshire side of it.
yeah,
But yes, uh, glad to be back here again for our
absolutely.
usually Monday morning banter.
Did you have a good weekend? Was it fun?
Yes, I was working all day Saturday
Mm-hmm.
and yesterday knowing that the frosts are coming, trying to get the plants ready for be wrapped up and put away in the garden, the last minute bits,
Yeah,
as you do,
yeah.
ready for the winter. Um, but I think that's so brilliant, isn't it? I love it when I suddenly get that last minute panic about the winter coming. And
Mm.
then I start thinking, and then I said to Sarah when we came in, Sarah, my wife, I just thought, do you know what? I really fancy a good old fashioned hot chocolate,
Oh, that's one of
so,
Richard's favourites. He loves a hot chocolate, be it summer, winter, or spring
oh,
or autumn.
oh, cream and all. No, I just fancy in the winter. I don't think I don't know if you can remember back in the day. For me, they always used to seem a little thicker than what you get now. I don't like
Yeah,
that, what I call watery. It puts
yeah,
me off. I like
yeah.
that good, thick, stodgy hot chocolate with the cream and the marshmallow. And then, when you get it on the end of your nose, that's winter.
Now that I would like to see. You can get you ought to put on your Christmas list, Chris, of a chocolate velvetizer.
Don't.
They're
I
supposed
hope
to,
Sarah's not watching this because she'll bash you because I was saying about it all day yesterday. I need a velveter. You don't
yeah,
need
a
another gadget,
velvetizer. Yeah,
she says.
they sell them in hotel chocolate apparently.
I know, and
So
we're passing it today, so I'm going to drag her in.
all right, yeah. Well, they're supposed to be very good, the
Yeah.
velvetizers.
But
So
mind you,
that's
they're
what we
very
need for Christmas.
expensive. They're very
Yes, they are.
expensive now, so it's probably waiting until January.
In the
You know,
sale, in the sale. Well,
yeah.
we better say a few hellos because we've got a lot going on. We've got very special guests coming on with us this morning. We have lovely Hannah who will be joining us. But we better just say hello to the wonderful SPTV family to see what they've been up to and tell us where you are, where you're from, and what the temperatures are like. Because if you're across the pond, you might make us jealous because it might be quite warm over there. So
Yeah.
we've got Michelle Daniels. Good morning to you, Michelle.
Good morning, Rochelle. And please let us know of you. What are your winter rituals? What is it you like to do for this preparing of the battening down or the slowing down? What signifies and makes you feel all cozy for winter? Because I love this season. Maybe I'm just strange. Well, I know I am, but I love this season. I love the summer and I love the winter. So good morning, Chrissy. Lovely Chrissy there, and she's
Yes,
hoping we're all very well. We're doing absolutely fine. I'm sure Karen
we
is as
are.
well, are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Hello, Angeline Foot. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Ooh. And Kimberly Kavanagh. Hi. Where are you based, Kimberly?
Oh,
Oh,
morning, Linda. Lovely to see you.
good morning, Linda. How's it in Littleport? I bet it's frosty there.
Mm.
And the beautiful Kelly Rocket. Hi, guys. Hello back to you.
Ah, good morning, Ashley. Lovely to see you. Oh, have you both got slow cookers? Go and get for stews. Do you know what, Ashley? That's on my list. Chris has got his chocolate velvetizer and I need a slow cooker. But I did do a nice chicken um pot pot bake yesterday. Instead of a roast, we did a chicken and bacon pot bake yesterday. So that was quite nice.
Well,
So,
we haven't got this. We've got a slow cooker, but we've got an Aga.
oh, of
So
course you
we
have, yeah.
cook in the bottom, the slow cook of the Aga. So we're quite
Ah,
fortunate. And the beautiful
lovely.
Shaz Fairy's joining us this morning as well.
Morning,
Nice to have you
Shaz.
with us.
Morning, Shaz.
Oh, Jade, London is absolutely freezing. Oh, well, I'm glad I'm not there.
Do you know what, Jade? I can remember a crispy London morning walking across Trafalgar Square to my office. So off the trains, yes, it can get very frosty. Hello, Trish. Good morning. She's from Hull. Lovely, not that far from me. So lovely to have you with us.
Wow. And Tash, good morning, Tash. And it's nice to have you with us.
Hello, Kelly. Nice to see you.
Oh, big love to all, especially to me. Oh, Kimberly from Newfoundland, Canada. Now, we think we have it cold. I'm
Oh,
sure
I know.
Canada has it far worse than we do.
Oh, they most certainly do.
Oh,
Oh, good morning, Trevor. Yes, I've got my autumn blouse on this morning. I love the autumn colours, so I thought I'd put it on.
uh, Kimberly, it's been very warm here in Newfoundland. Wow, trying to make us envious.
Absolutely. Oh, Michelle's from Tennessee. Oh, lovely. How
Oh, do
nice.
you drink much Jack Daniels?
Oh, Sarah McGeechy, snow here today. Oh dear, Sarah, get your snow boots out.
Where is that, Sarah? Please let us know. And Leslie, hello to you both and hope you had a lovely weekend. We cannot complain, can we, Karen?
Absolutely. We had a good weekend. Oh, Leslie
Aberdeen.
says Aberdeen is covered in snow. Oh, I'm going up to Scotland on Thursday, so the thermals and the boots will
Oh,
be out.
take your fur-lined knickers with you as well. You know. Good morning, Carol.
Morning, Carol. Oh, hello, Diana. Yes, we're doing okay. Thank you for sending all your love. Thank you
And
very
your
much. Nice to have
emojis.
you.
And Chrissy, my granddad is buried in Lincolnshire. Oh,
Oh,
whereabouts, Chrissy?
oh. Oh, Sarah's Aberdeenshire, Scotland. Yes, Scotland always get the snow first. Good morning, Hayley.
I
Nice to
did
have
see
you
a
with
little
us.
thing yesterday that had showed up the first flurries of the snow up in Scotland.
Yeah,
So, Reda,
yeah.
hello, hello. Oh, I do love your little logo there, your little design. That's kind of
Very
beautiful.
nice. Very nice. Nice to have you. Oh, Kimberly said it was 17 degrees yesterday. We've still got it quite warm. It's gone down to single figures where we are. But do you
Yeah,
know what? It's the
that's our
season.
summer, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the seasons. So, oh, Ashley went to university in Lincoln. Fond memories of the beautiful city at Christmas. It is a lovely county. Lincoln's beautiful, Ashley. It really is, all around the cathedral area. It's beautiful. My son has fallen in love with the city of Lincoln. So when he comes to visit, that's his first port of call. Wonderful, wonderful. Well,
Funnily enough,
if we haven't managed to say good morning to all of you individually, it's good morning to everybody, and also good morning to everyone who joins the show throughout our time. So
absolutely.
it's really lovely to have you all with us. And now we're going to have our lovely special guest. And we have the lovely Hannah who will be joining us from Inner Moon Holistics. And Hannah's going to be telling us all about what she does because I was looking on Facebook last night and she's got an interesting array of things that she works with. So we're going to be talking to her. and she's going to be sharing her knowledge. And just as before we do that, a quick hello to Tony. And we know that Tony is from New Zealand and it was 20 degrees. So you're still nice and cozy, Tony, because you've got your summer. So that's lovely. That's lovely.
Okay. Nice to see you, Tony.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
let's let's welcome Hannah as she joins us now. Good morning,
Morning.
Hannah.
Morning, Hannah. Lovely to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Can you tell us a little bit, can you tell our viewers what it is you actually do and what your practices are?
Okay. Predominantly I'm a tarot reader, so that's my main what I do most of the time. So that's half an hour or 1 hour sessions. Most of them are done via Zoom. And I'm also a color therapist. Now people wonder what color therapy is. I think it's me telling people what to wear, what colors to wear, but it isn't. It's using light energy and frequency to unblock certain chakras, any kind of emotional issues that the person has been experiencing, or if somebody just wants to relax and have a bit more insight into their vision, that's what it's for as well. And they normally last for 1 hour to 2 hours. I'm also an energy practitioner, meaning I identify core belief systems of limiting beliefs. So most people will have a limiting belief system, and it's using certain techniques to identify what that is and change the narrative of their thinking using energy work, as well as moon meditation, amongst a few other things. So that's predominantly what I do.
Wow, it sounds
I
really
know.
exciting.
There's a
I
lot in there.
I was quite interested in the color, the color part of your work, Hannah, because I'm going back quite a few years, but I do remember a friend of mine who I worked with. She used to do these things with color to color me beautiful, where it was about what you wear
Hmm.
and what suits you. But since I've come into this way of life, I do feel that personally, I always think, what do I need to, what colors do I need to wear today? Not just what, but, and I think that that has an effect on you, how you sort of like start your day, really. Would you agree with that?
100% agree. It's interesting because do you find that you are drawn to certain colors more, and then one year you think I've never worn black, and then you start wearing more black? It's because there's a transition in your energy as well. So say for example, orange in color therapy is enlightenment. So that's why the
Mm-hmm.
monks wear orange from head to toe, because they want to become more enlightened. So if you find that you're drawn to say wearing more orange, I mean, I know it's autumnal anyway, and it's like a
Yeah.
nice color, you are seeking something. There's something in your energy system that would either want more information. It's your higher self, essentially. It's also linked to your sacral chakra, which is all about the connection you have with other people, more often than not romantically. So if you dislike a certain color all of a sudden, it actually says quite a lot about your energy system and what your higher self is telling you. Whereas black, it's a very safe color because it's you can hide behind it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? You're not expressive, you're not being identified. It's also the color of withholding information, which is why nuns will wear black, because it's like with their religion, it's like they're containing it all. So in our sessions, in the consultation, I'll say, what color don't you like? What color do you like? And it does change. And the aspect of wearing it is something I don't necessarily advise in a consultation, but your friend is absolutely right. It says so much, it speaks so much. And it's all linked to a chakra, it's linked to a mindset. And if somebody wants to attract love, for example, so here's a tip for those wanting to want a relationship, wear turquoise because it reflects pink, and then pink is the color of the heart energy. It attracts love, it attracts connection. So you wouldn't think necessarily to wear turquoise, for example, if you want those kind of new experiences in life.
It's
Wow, it sounds
interesting.
absolutely fascinating.
It
So
is, isn't it
I
interesting?
wear a lot of cream and blues. So does that mean I'm not approachable?
It means you're very approachable. It means you're very approachable. Cream is more often than not, it's linked to purity, because it's very, very close to white. And there you go. And it has all the colors of the spectrum. So white has all the colors of the spectrum in it, basically, meaning that, you probably work a lot with your chakras or meditations, or you feel very connected. So you're drawn naturally to something that's very enlightening. you know. So more often than not, people who are tarot readers or spiritual practitioners tend to be drawn to more whites. Blue is linked to your throat chakra, but also what blue does, it reduces inflammation as well. So if there's then been any kind of health issues or sprains or things like that, then more often that you're subconsciously drawn to the healing element, which is blue.
That's fascinating, because when you say the blue, I have arthritis, so that's the inflammation.
There you
So,
go. That's the
wow,
inflammation.
you wouldn't think of it linking like that, but that is
Yeah,
absolutely fascinating. Because
absolutely.
also, you know, in a lot of ways, Karen and I obviously are practicing mediums, and I know that when I see certain colors, I use that within my mediumship. I know that I know the basics of the chakras, as Karen will, but then we look at it on an emotional level. What's it telling us about that person and
Yeah.
that connection? So it's not too dissimilar, is it really?
It's not, and it's all connected. It's so interesting. Have you ever walked into a room and thought, oh, I hate this color, I hate the color of these walls? And there's a reason for that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not because obviously aesthetically, you know, you might just dislike it anyway. But if there's a combination of colors you don't like, so say for example, I never used to like orange and brown together. I found it like we looked like typical 1970s kind of shop vibe. And I never used to like it, but brown is all about your innate how you feel when you're by yourself. And then you've got the mixture with the sacral chakra and the orange, which is all about the connection. So it's like oil and water, the two don't mix. So I had to do a lot of work energetically, and now I really like that combination together. So it's like, and I incorporate it in my clothes and my therapies. But just to touch, Chris, on the blue, for example, you wearing a lot of blue. If you were to have a session and you said, I've got arthritis, I would use blue light with intention on certain areas. So it works with material and it works with light intercellular energy.
Wow. Sorry to interrupt, Karen, but Kelly here, she says she likes to wear a lot of green, black, and purple, which is quite an interesting mix. So what would that say about Kelly?
It means, well, with those three colors, it's like the tip of the iceberg. So Kelly, probably people think they might know her, but there's so much more underneath it all that she might not reveal to everybody else. Like there's like a circle, then another inner circle, and it's her inner circle that she kind of really, really trusts, basically the most. Green is really, really interesting because it's linked to grounding and it is linked to the heart energy, meaning she has a very, very good heart, really like kind of puts people first. With people who wear a lot of green, what I would say is make sure you don't put yourself last too much. You know, it's good to be a nice person, but don't always spread yourself too thin, let's say. Black, again, it's that wonderful safe color. Black is also very classy, and purple is linked to the third eye. So Kelly might intuitively be very kind of intuitive about other people and situations, but also very connected to herself. So Kelly might find she's on this spiritual journey herself, where she's expanding her awareness a lot more about certain practices with herself.
Well, let us know, Kelly, if that makes sense. But it was interesting what you said about morning, Clara.
Oh, good morning, the beautiful Clara.
It was interesting what you said about green, because I went through what I call I love green anyway.
Yeah.
But I went through a green phase, and I went away, and someone said to me, in your case, there's different shades of green. You've gone from dark green to sort of light green. And I didn't realize when I packed my case that that's what I did.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. As an overall, it's the color itself. So the shading, I guess, it can be a preference, but it's also, you probably transition then to another color. So that's fading out into something like another phase of your life. Then you might have worn, as an example, red or something like that. The intensity of the green is more about the depth of the lesson and the blockage or the unblockage, however, you know, case by case basis. And the lighter it gets, normally it means there's no significance necessarily. Does that make sense? It's just a color that you like. Yeah.
You know, Chris is asking here, is it true blue and green should never be seen? So that would be interesting. I mean, going back to these old myths, isn't it?
Yeah. I think if you like blue and green, carry on. If you love it, you wear it. Blue and green should never be seen. I mean, that's just something. I mean, I have heard that, and that people do ask me that quite a lot, actually. But I think blue and green look beautiful together. It reminds me of the sea. It reminds me of the ocean. You're working with the throat and the heart, and you need that because you have to get into that head and heart coherence of speaking your truth and feeling your truth. So, Chrissy, absolutely. If you like it, go ahead.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Viewers, please keep, if you've got any questions for Hannah, she's willing to answer them for you on your colors. This is lovely.
It
Um,
is. It's
when you were
wonderful.
talking about going into places where they had the different colors, um, for me, I'm very sensitive to things like that, and I'm sure Karen is as well. But I've got this innate thing wherever I go and I see red, I feel I can trust them. I love red. Red, I know, is a very grounding color, but when I go in, I feel immediately I can trust this. I trust
Yeah,
this, and
yeah,
I feel very solid with that. And
yeah.
Clara says she wears a lot of black and red as well. So, and I think Clara and I are not too dissimilar in that kind of things.
Mhm. It's interesting. Red is a color, it's like Marmite. So people will either really love it
Hmm.
or they don't like it. There's very little people who are quite indifferent to it. Red is linked to your root chakra. So if you love it, like you say, for example, it makes you feel very safe. You have a very, very balanced foundation. Okay. So that's not to say that every aspect of your life was always balanced, but it's
Hmm.
essentially from the ages from 0 to 7 years old, it would be a very, very balanced. Probably what was your gift coming through at a very, very young age as well. You might have been had awareness of it. So it's protectiveness as well. So if you don't like it, if you hate red and you think, gosh, I really don't like that, there is could be just a slight blockage with your root chakra. And when I say blockage, it's nothing negative. It's just energy shifting, energy frequencies,
Hmm.
which are very easily changeable. So there could be, you could have moved quite a lot up until the age of 7, which means your foundation could have felt quite unbalanced. You could have felt like, it was quite difficult to make friends. So as you get older, the intensity of the color red would have this like the same impact of hitting a red light every single time you're driving. It's that frustration, it's that anger, but it will balance out once you work on your root chakra.
Well, that's
That's
interesting.
fascinating.
That is
Mm.
very interesting because from the age of 0 to 7, I moved a hell of a lot. And red, I don't mind sort of like the burgundy red, but I don't like the bright, sort of what I call pillar box
No,
red. So
yeah,
that's
the
interesting. I've
intensity.
never thought of it
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
that.
I don't
yeah,
like the brighter reds. I love the darker shade, the
Yes,
better. But
like a
I
red
yeah.
from
wine.
the 0 to 30, I would moved a lot. So
Yeah, but there you go. There you go. But with burgundy, it's got an element of another color in it, so it's safer. It's like there's a different aspect, a different energy. So red as a standalone, you'd be like, no, absolutely not. But it's all linked to your root chakra. So if you release certain blockages, and a way to do that is you can say, I willingly release any negative cellular energy, is you'll start to shift. And then your attitude or your approach towards red might start to be different. You might then buy a red cushion for your sofa without realizing it, and things like that.
Yeah,
can you
that's interesting. That's
can you see
interesting.
this lovely question from the lovely Tony in New Zealand, our dear friend there? She says she wears all sorts of bright colours, not black. So what does that mean? She likes the red, the orange, the yellow, the pink, the purple, the green. They seem to all, for me, and the purple, they're all kind of shades of the same color, aren't they? They all
They
link
are very
in.
similar.
Yeah, she says her favorite is purple and red.
Yeah.
So,
Purple and red. Well, that is the root chakra, and that is the third eye. And the third eye, just to clarify, is your intuition. It can be like psychic side. It can be your vision. So this is a really, really nice combination. If you do wear a lot of colors, it means you're in touch and you're a very confident person, and you don't answer to anybody or anything with regards to who you are. So you don't mind being seen. You don't mind. You can be quite opinionated, or you not in a negative way, but it can be if somebody says something you disagree, you don't hide away from disagreeing. Normally, when people are happy with quite a lot of array of colours, because there's a great deal of balance there, which is really, really nice. People who stay away from black, that can just mean that they're more of an open book, for example, than somebody who would choose to wear black, for example.
oh,
Gosh,
interesting.
it's
Well,
absolutely fascinating, isn't it,
it
Karen?
is. How did you get into all this, Hannah? Did you wake up one morning and suddenly think, I want to learn about colours? What
Well,
happened?
it's interesting. Prior to learning about colors, I was learning about energy and frequency. And everything has a vibrational
Yeah.
frequency. So, even inanimate objects like a table or a chair, it's holding a frequency. We think it's solid, but it isn't. And then I started to understand that I'll tell you what the turning point was. You know, when you walk into a room and you can tell when someone's had an argument, but they're not saying anything, you can sense that energy. I thought, how can you feel that without any words being exchanged? And I started to look into energy, and then I stumbled across how light has energy and the colors have energy. And I started to read all about it. So then I went and invested in a course. It's called chromotherapy, which is healing through color. And then from then on, I just expanded my knowledge. And I was a tarot reader at the same time, so I would have understood an element of energy, and it just is an asset now to kind of what I already do.
Good morning, David. I find this interesting. What do you think what's your take on this, Hannah? I had some red pointy shoes in the 80s, loved them for sure, and had a red leather tie. Well, I think we all did, all men in the 80s. I had a red leather tie as well.
It was
Sounds
the
very
trend.
sharp. Sounds great.
It does, doesn't it? Very fashionable. So, Hannah, is there any, obviously this is a very fascinating subject. Is there any plans for you to write a book or put something out there that maybe we can in the future, use as a reference?
Maybe that's a really, really good idea. I've been having a lot of dreams about writing, and I am writing. Right, well, here's a tip: if you do have strange dreams and they're strong, have a dream diary next to your bed, because it's your higher self calling you, basically. So you can never remember them in the morning, can you? So it was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And it is about writing. So maybe you said that, maybe in the future I will consider it. But at this moment today, it's not kind of on the
I
agenda.
think I might be psychic,
I think you might be.
So,
Kelly Rocket wants to. What about blue? If you don't agree with blue, so what's your thoughts on blue?
If you don't like blue, that's your throat chakra. That's speaking your truth, basically. If you don't like blue, it can mean that you can find other people's energy a little bit overwhelming if they are too opinionated, for example, or if they're too kind of dogmatic in their approach. Or if you switch it around, it could be maybe you don't speak enough about your truth, maybe you simmer too much. It's very difficult to say without a consultation, but people who dislike blue, they normally don't say enough when they should and speak in their truth, or they'll be quite reactive quite quickly and then think, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. So it'll start normally like one or the other, and then you just balance that out. But blue is interesting because it's so significant to like teenage years, because you're identifying who you are when you're a teenager. You're speaking, you're trying to like have your voice heard. So it's if you don't like blue, my advice would be to, how did you feel from the ages of 13 to 18? And did you feel seen? Were you an individual? Did you feel respected? And you'll start to see signs through that kind of
interesting.
time.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, as a medium for me with that, I would have been saying, you're not speaking your truth and you allow others to dominate that truth. So it's fascinating to hear you say that, because it doesn't seem that far away from what I was feeling.
It's not. It's very, very interesting. It's very close together because it's energy work. It's energy.
Yes.
And it's a message for you.
Absolutely.
Tara's just mentioned blue. Does it mean trauma from the past?
Trauma holds a kind of energy to it in itself. Trauma doesn't mean anything horrific that's happened. It can mean something like that's bothered you. So it can mean trauma. It can mean where you felt unhappy for quite some time, but more often than not, it's introspective. It's how you felt about yourself more than anything else. And this is exactly what color therapy is. It's about your approach, your perspective, your vision, and your interpretation of certain things. So whilst blue can indicate some unbalance in your life that you've experienced from external sources, it is more often yourself and how you speak to yourself.
So what happens when people come to you for a session, Hannah? Do you offer just a one-off, or do people come sort of like for a group, a block session, like they come more than once? What happens?
You can have one session. They last an hour or 2 hours, depending on how long you want to book for. You can come just once. You can come every 3 months or 6 months, and it's like if there's no physical element, or there's no emotional or spiritual reason why you're coming, you just want to see what it's like or maintain energy, it can, that's all it's good for as well. It can just to maintain your chakras. I can unblock your chakras for that alone, and that's why people come as well. So there doesn't have to be an issue, but you can come every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's depending on personal preference, really.
Can I just ask how this actually works? So when somebody comes to you saying new, are you envisaging the colours with them and seeing them, or are you getting them to give you a little brief synopsis about their life?
Yes. So they come in, and the first 10-15 minutes is a consultation. So you'll give me your medical history with a questionnaire, and I then assess that. I just want to put a disclaimer: it's not medical advice in any shape or form. It's all energy work. And then I will ask them why they felt drawn to color therapy. Now, most people say, I don't know, actually, because I don't know what it is. I don't know enough about it, and that's fine. I then ask them what their favorite color is, what their least favorite color is, and that will give me enough information, along with their questionnaire, what I need to work on as well. I will then tell them what I think they need to work on, because I think everything's free will. I think you should never impose anything, say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Once they agree, they then lie on a bench. And they close their eyes, and then I put some frequency, depending on the frequency I want to work on, some music, and then I have light. I have chromotherapy lights of different colors, and then I will focus on the area that I want to work on. I will throw in a bit of Reiki in there as well, and just balance their energy. I will use sound near their ears, and that sounds like, it's not like hard rock or anything like that. It's really kind of like white noise and like brown noise and things, and then they have like towards the end of the hour or 2 hours, it's quite silent, and then I use my bells to clear the energy, and then when they're ready to open their eyes, they open their eyes.
Wow, sounds wonderful. Well, we're going to take a short break. It's been absolutely fascinating, and we're going to keep Hannah with us, because I'm sure there's lots of other questions, and we are going to be doing readings as well. So it's now time for our outside broadcaster, our lovely Kate May, who's going to give you her weekly tarot scope. So what do we say, Chris?
Roll it, Richard.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kate May, Modern Day Mystic. It is the 16th of November, something like that. I'm here with your week ahead tarot readings for each zodiac sign. So let's have a look at Aries. Your week, oh, that one slipped out. Your week ahead, Aries, is the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles is about juggling things. So this week, Aries, you're looking at juggling things, keeping your head above water. And you might have some priorities to make, and practical priorities. So it could be to do with your work-home balance, your financial balance coming in and out. It is Christmas coming up. So it's just about weighing things up and prioritising things. But it does indicate, because the water's behind you, does indicate this week, Aries, that you are able to manage things and keep your head above water. But I would say look at your choices in a more prioritised way. Taurus, your week ahead, Four of Cups, something better is coming around you. Now, you might have felt a little bit low, a little bit bored, a little bit fed up lately, Taurus, or just that excitement of life and your motivation has waned. However, don't give up. Keep your ears to the ground. Something better is coming your way to help lift you out of a bit of a patch. Gemini, lots of ideas, lots of thoughts, things are going rushing around your mind, but you might not be able to do much. There's a little bit of a delay energy this week. But I would say there's some brilliant ideas, some great ideas. However, we're just at that idea stage. So it's all about thinking for you this week rather than acting on anything at the moment, Geminis. And it may be that you need to literally just get your ducks in a row at the moment as you manage your thoughts that are coming in and going out around you. Okay, Cancer, your week ahead, Four of Wands, celebration, success, victory, recognition. Fabulous week for you this week, Cancerians. Feeling happy, feeling contented, joyous. There could be some good news coming in that you and a loved one or you and somebody else will be sharing. But it's a four, it's a foundation card, it's home, it's where your heart is. Great energy this week, Cancer. Leo, feeling a bit of a tough time this week, Leo. You might be feeling left out in the cold. You may be feeling money's a little bit challenging, or that just your health, generally vibe, is just feeling a bit low. However, Mercury in Taurus here indicates ask for help. Don't suffer in silence. The help and support is there. but people don't know. Not everyone's a mind reader. So try and reach out and not struggle on your own, but it will pass. It's just a temporary phase. Virgo, your week ahead, Magician. You've got all the tools to do the job. Anything is possible this week. You can magic it up there, manifest it. As above, so below. As number one, it's new creations, new beginnings. Create a little bit of magic this week, Virgos. Libra, feeling a bit isolated, or perhaps you just want some time out. Maybe you need to reflect and go within, and you don't want to be around too many people this week. Meditate. It's a week of a pivotal point, so some deep thinking could be needed this week, Libra, in choices and decisions that come about later on. But go within, your little light shining within will help you navigate the way forward. But do maybe take some time out this week to just really think about what you want. Scorpio, my favourite card, Chariot. Overcoming difficulties, overcoming adversities. You're back on the horse this week, Scorpio. Focus and realignment is going to be really good for you. You might start to feel that your goals are more in reach, or that you've got a sense of someone or something coming back to you with some good news there. Overcoming difficulties, but focus and visionary, that's what the word I wanted to say. Visionary energy is important this week to carry on and reach those goals, Scorpio. Sagittarius. Six of Pentacles. Sharing is caring. The energy that you give out, you're going to get back. This card can reply to a bonus coming your way, financial help or support, one that you might be receiving or one that you could be giving if you're feeling rather generous. Six of Pentacles is charity, it's voluntary, it's about helping others and reaching out to get that help back. So this balance of help and support there. It can be clearing debt as well, so you may be in line for a little bit of a bonus to clear some of your debt this week, Sagittarians. And Capricorn, a whole new world. Loose ends are being tied up, Capricorn. Things are feeling more fulfilled now. You should start to feel that shift. We have a huge shift in Pluto, Capricorn. It's been there forever, and now it's moving into Aquarius. And it's over this next week. It's massive if you look at the astrology, and it will affect Capricorns. We're coming away from certain situations. It's going to affect everyone, but Capricorns particularly, and Aquariuses. So this really is in alignment, and I've just seen 444 Capricorn. So this is great for all that rubbish, all that baggage, things that you may have, that have restricted you. This is ruled by Saturn, things that have restricted you, including yourself. You're now ready to let that go and learn from things as you take a new cycle, open a new door and enter a whole new world. It's an exciting time, Capricorn, and it just may feel, I think you're going to feel ready to release the chains, to be honest. I feel like you're ready to go into a new world and new ways of doing things that are a bit more flexible. Aquarius, master of your own destiny, stepping up, taking charge, leading the way, promotions, boundaries, anything to do with assertive energy or boss energy or leading the way. This is great, Aquarians. It's a really good card. It's interesting that we moved from Pluto, from Capricorn to Aquarian, because we're now setting the tone completely here, where now it's Aquarian energy, and Aquarian energy is the bigger picture and visionary and humanitarianism. So it's worldly, so we're really stepping into power. And this week, Aquarians, you're really going to start to feel that you're leveling up and you can be more assertive and be heard. And Pisces, Three of Swords, Pisces, there could be some disappointments or some sadness coming in around you this week. Maybe there's something that you're already feeling a bit low about, perhaps blood tests, operations can come in with this as well. If you're feeling a bit sad, if things have been a bit challenging already, Pisces, this card says now's the time to heal. It's only a temporary card. Minor cards are temporary. It's time to heal. It's time to look at the wounds. It's time to go within, release things. And we just spoke about Pisces, Aquarius and Capricorn energy. There's a lot of change coming in. So now's the time, Pisces, to release what no longer serves you. Release that hurt, heal from the past, and find joy in things rather than pain. Have a fabulous week, everyone. Lots of changes in the star signs. If you want to book a reading with me, you can catch me on katemay.co.uk. If you want to follow my socials, katemay.co.uk. No, it's not. It's Kate May, Modern Day Mystic.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you so much to the wonderful Kate May. Lots of insight there for you all for the coming week. And talk about the coming week. It might be quite nice, because I know Richard's told us there's loads of questions, and we've been actually talking to Hannah behind the scenes as well. So, but let's just let you know what's happening on SPTV this coming week. So we don't have a show tonight. We've just got this morning. But tomorrow we have something very nice that's coming back. And our very own Richard will be giving card readings live at 7 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday. So don't forget to tune in. And I would assume that he's going to be using our very own sptv cards as well, which he created. So that will be wonderful. And I do believe there's still a few packs to buy if anybody's interested. So Richard will be demonstrating with the cards live tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And then on Thursday, we have the wonderful Emily Baker, and she will be showing off her lovely spirit art, and also giving mediumship readings as well. And you may remember lovely Emily was with me a few weeks ago, so that was really nice. And she's got those wonderful cards that she's created too. So tune in, Emily, on Thursday at 7 p.m. So you've got quite a lot to be looking forward to, everybody. But we're going to be chatting more with Hannah, and we've got more questions coming up, which Richard is going to be sharing with us. So we were chatting, weren't we? Just as Kate was finishing, about something that was quite interesting to do with energy, the plug, Hannah. So what were you telling us about that?
Okay, so a little tip for everybody who, if you deal with people on a day-to-day basis, which most people do, the palms are the most healing part of the body, which is why when you see something shocking, the first thing you do is your palms instinctively will put it to your heart energy to kind of protect that energy. So if first thing in the morning, before you do anything, you imagine plugs, energy plugs going into your hands, and they could be any color. Put them in both palms and imagine that, like how like a cork on a wine bottle, it's almost like doing it like that. And then that's all you do. And then throughout the day, you are not giving by default your energy away. So you won't feel drained or exhausted by the end of the day because you're keeping your energy contained. You're not giving any power away, so to speak. So that's a little tip. That's what my tarot
is that for people who are, have these people who drain them and coming to them, naturally, and it will help you protect you from that.
Yes, particularly if you have people around you that are draining you because their energy might be low themselves, or they might just be wanting to have all the, offloading, let's say, and it's quite exhausting sometimes. So that's a little tip for anybody who is experiencing that.
Oh, good.
Also, when you're caring for somebody as well, if you're a carer and you're caring for people as well, that can be, you want to do the best for that person because you love them, but it can sort of take its toll on the carer as well, can't it?
It can. And it's so important, never just because you're caring for somebody, or you might be a counselor, so it's your job, it's so important to look after yourself, because everything when you're working at a certain vibrational frequency, your magnetic field is admitting that. So you have to make sure that it's as high and ambient as possible for you to keep attracting the good experiences in your life. But you wouldn't use a phone on 3% battery. You have to kind of wait for it to have a full battery to have full capacity. That's exactly the same as your energy.
Well, that's a brilliant analogy. Just going back to the plugs here, does this say something? I mean, like, just for instance, say you're popping those plugs in and yet you see your plug as green. Is that telling you that maybe you're giving too much emotional energy away, or protecting yourself from that? Is that something else that tells a story?
That's a really, really good question, actually. Most people will view it as green. So that's the common denominator. It's like they'll see it as green. It's because it's linked to you're protecting your heart energy. That's why.
Right.
So it's a connection there. If you see it as red, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have an imbalanced root chakra. It just basically means that for whatever reason, that moment you're drawn to that color, and the protection of energy is linked to that color as well. But it's roughly because it's linked to the heart energy and your protection, it's self-love because you're protecting yourself, which is why it can be green, which is what you just pointed out there. Yeah.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing and fascinating. So, shall we see if we can answer one or two of our viewers' questions here?
Absolutely. We've got Tashan here. What color to wear? What color should you wear to release hurt from your past?
It depends what the hurt is from. Okay, so if it's from childhood past, say with parents or siblings or any person around you, what you can do is wear red. So red would be that intensity of energy frequency that it would resonate with regards to that. When I say wear it, you don't always have to wear it as a color, by the way. You can have it as a crystal, you could have it as a scarf, you could just have it as something that is red in color that's by your bedside. So it's not like you've got to go out and buy a new dress or anything like that. You can also wear white because white is the color of forgiveness. And when I say forgiveness, I don't mean go out and say, I'm going to talk to you now. It's forgiving the event, the hurt that you have been experiencing, and you're willingly releasing that negative cellular energy. So white is the highest frequency because it has all the colors of the spectrum. So if you don't like red, for example, you can wear white. Even like the white tips on a nail manicure is still energy. It's still that color. So I would say red and white predominantly.
I'll have to go and get myself a new dress and go and get my tips done then, will I? So, what's up, Richard? Have we got another question here? So, Trevor, I have to be very color coordinated, so my socks, underwear, and t-shirt has to match. Well, I'm not so sure about all three, but I do too. One day it could be orange, and the next day it could be yellow. Today it's blue. So, what's that say about him?
That's a really, really interesting question. When we look at color coordination, there's more of an insight into how it looks and how it makes you feel. So if color coordination makes you feel better, it's because there's an element of control. And I don't mean that in a negative sense in any shape or form, but it can be when you've come out of a situation that you felt you had no control in, whether or not that be with your parents or from a previous relationship. But there's a sense of satisfaction with color coordination because it's soothing. It gives you some sense of order, and that's basically all it is. So it's bringing order from maybe potential chaos that you've experienced in your previous life. Also, people who color coordinate, sometimes what I have found is that parents have divorced when they've been quite young, so they want to bring that sense of order and direction into their lives, and they're using it as color. So I wouldn't, again, it's a very broad spectrum, it's a case by case basis, but that's what I would say with color coordination. And yellow is a wonderful color to wear because it's your solar plexus which is moving forward in your direction.
Interesting. This is fascinating. So I'm just going to add something into the mix here. Now, you say you work with tarot, Hannah, as well.
Yeah.
So have you got lots of tarot cards, and do you think, which one do I need to work with today? Which deck? Does that, the decks that people use, does that also give an insight into what they like to work with or what they need to work with?
It can do, and that's another really great question. So when I do my private readings, I have one deck because I feel connected, and for anyone who reads cards, it's almost like having that another person, that energy that you connect with, like working with someone. So I just have one deck for that. The other decks are because I love the artwork or the color of the packaging, so that I am drawn to the color, but it's more with energy than the color itself. But within tarot, there are certain colors. So say, for example, the Rider-Waite deck, which is the very first ever tarot deck, there are color signifiers in there. So the tall red hat on the two of coins, for example, indicates that ambition and drive, which is the red, which is that fire energy. So there's a lot of elements of color in tarot drawings anyway. So whatever deck you get, you're kind of getting information.
Interesting.
So Trevor agreed with what you said. You were spot on. Okay. So he was wrong with that. Well, Kelly says here she bought turquoise when she was first started her SPTV journey, and and that was about the relationship, wasn't it? What we covered about. So well done.
Amazing.
Well done.
That's interesting. That is cool. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I also think when they were saying about matching the underwear and the t-shirt, because these are all, to me, I would have added, because these are all called close bodily contact. I would say I'm dealt with my problems, but they're private. I'm a private person. This is not what I'm going to portray to you.
Absolutely.
Would that be correct?
100%. Yeah, the closer it is to your body, the more kind of intimate it is for yourself. So you don't have to verbalize anything. It's something whether or not your conscious mind is telling you that, your subconscious certainly knows that.
Yeah. Well, it basically is more subconscious, isn't it?
It
You
is,
know,
yeah,
with that.
yeah.
But that's
Mm,
what I would read from that, you know.
yeah, right, yeah.
Chris is just saying, I wear bright orange and yellow and awesome colors. What does it mean?
It means, Chrissy, you're a very grounded person. So orange, again, it's a color of enlightenment. So you'd be very, very open to new subjects. So say, for example, there's a dinner party, you're having a dinner party and there's a subject you don't know about, you wouldn't necessarily dismiss it, you would want to learn about it, you know, before making any sort of judgment. People who like orange are very, very much like that, and they're very likable because of that trait as well. Yellow is really, well, it's beautiful. There's nothing negative ever attributed to yellow because it's sun, it's the divine masculine. The orange is feminine, so you've got really, really good balance of divine masculine and feminine there. But overall, as a general autumnal colors, which is actually what we were saying in the little break there, it means you're very, very grounded, and you're not seeking kind of vacuous energies like chasing cars, homes, money that you think will bring you happiness. It's more about the heart energy. A conversation with 5 close friends is a better night out than, say, spending it at the Ritz, for example.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to put something to you, Karen, here. And this is just interesting. I'm just going to see and then see what Hannah's take of it. So you love your autumn colours here.
I do.
Okay. So shall I just say as well to you, Karen, that you know, you're all about getting rid of the past hurts, the past crap, basically, and that
Yeah,
you're ready for, you know, moving all that along, you
yeah,
know, and looking very much forward to the future.
mm,
Would you
yeah,
do that? Would you say that? Now, how I came to that is because if we can go with nature, when we look at the color of the trees and all
yeah,
these beautiful oranges, yellows, and autumnal colors, as we call them, basically it's the tree having a crap. Basically, it's getting ready and shedding all that so it can
yeah,
face now the future. So
yeah.
we can take that. Would you say we can take those cues from nature as well?
Oh, absolutely. We 100% learn from nature. It's our guide, isn't it? And I think that's a wonderful observation that a tree will lose its leaves. We have to lose certain things. I personally see autumn as a rebirthing. People see it as
Yeah.
like the death of. But I think because there's so much change, we can mimic change. So a new year or spring, whilst we love those times, or whilst I like those times, I actually see autumn as a new year. So my new year, in my mind, goes from like September to September because it's a sense of energy shifting. You can change the, you know, the temperature changes. It gets a bit colder. We wrap up a lot more. We're kind of protecting our heart energy. And what do you want to protect with that? What's your vision? What's your creation? And it's a sacred time. I feel autumn.
Absolutely. Tony says if she wears red socks, does that mean her root chakra is unblocked? I would say you're Santa Claus helper, but then you go.
I would, yeah. Not necessarily red socks. I mean, it's more about the color rather than the actual item or clothing itself. So whether it be a red scarf or red socks, if you find you're wearing a lot of red, it actually like can suggest maybe there is a blocked root chakra or not, or you know, it could be beautifully unblocked, which is why you're wearing a lot. Again, it depends on the individual, but the closer it is to the ground, like socks, it is more linked to the actual, because the root chakra is the lowest point. It's just by your tailbone, so there's not actually that much distance. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily blocked or unblocked. It's more about the energy frequency and how you wear your clothes in general.
It's interesting as well because I was just sitting here as you were talking about the autumn colours, Chris, and what have you. You know, I always think a lot of people go when women become a certain age and they go into sort of like that menopausal time. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it's this, oh, it's that," but I look at it in a different way. I look at it as a rebirthing because a lot of women come into their own during that time. They've been sort of the kids are getting older, or they're actually finding themselves, and I'm sort of talking from personal experience here. I sort of found out who I truly was sort of like in my autumnal years more so than my early years. So I think to look at it instead of thinking, oh, I'm approaching the menopause, if anybody's approaching it out there, embrace it, because yes, there are changes that we go through physically, but mentally and emotionally and sort of like the way that you feel about yourself can be very empowering if you look at it in a very positive way. as well.
Absolutely. Mind is everything. The mind is phenomenal. That's such a beautiful way to look at it, because there's a thing called, cultural conditioning, where if you reach a certain age, you have to fit in a certain box and like these ideologies. But if you change your approach and see yourself, and this is going back to limiting belief systems, it's like an onion. You can unfold that, and then you create your own reality. So
that's right.
people that those symptoms will subside even though you're going through the menopause, but because you're not fixated in a certain mindset, let's say. So you take yourself out of that. You're right.
Definitely.
Yeah. Marge is saying here, which is, what would you say about the colour showing up in reality in synchronistic ways? So in a sense that rather than we choose the colour chooses us.
That's interesting. So I'm guessing that would be through dreams. Let's have a look.
She doesn't mention that.
Okay. So I'm from that, I would say if you're seeing a lot more color, there is a message in that for you. So that could, what you could do is, how do you feel when you see that color? If you're feeling relaxed, it's more of a comfort to say, actually, you're on the right path, keep going with what you're doing. And if it makes you feel negative or anxious, then that would link to whatever color that is to your energy system. So say, for example, if it's blue, so that could be, are you speaking your truth? Is there somebody in your life who you should be more forward with, more direct with? So it's like the universe intervention rather than the higher self, let's say. So it's other forces, universal forces at play. So see how you feel, Margie, when you look at these colors. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Is it linked to a certain chakra? And just go from there.
Do you ever, Hannah, when you're working with people, do you ever get them to express the colors through drawing or art or any other creative way? Have you ever worked with that, or
no,
is that
not
something
that.
you haven't?
No, but that is a thing. I mean, some chromotherapists do, it's called art therapy, where they use colors to express, even dance, like the scarves and things. That's a form of expression. I just use light. I use different colored light.
Karen, can I ask you?
Yeah.
Do you use color in your mediumship, and how does it speak to you if you do?
I do use it, but I use it probably quite personally, and I do sort of like use it more in a psychic way than I do in a mediumship way. I use it on a psychic level. When I see colors through the aura, I work with it that way, and I also use it as a teaching method. I use it through teaching, and I can remember this was quite interesting. We did this exercise once where my teacher got lots of different pieces of material, and we had to close our eyes, and we had to sort of sit, and she put the piece of material on our head, and we had to say how we felt about that color. And it was really, really quite interesting how we felt, and it sort of like taught me how color feels, and also the vibrations of colors as well. So I learned how to sort of like feel into someone's auric field to get to see how they're feeling through the color. So I use it in a more of a psychic connection, more than connecting with the spirit world. Although I have done it where they'd always show me what they wear and the colors that they used to wear as well. So I can sort of describe colors, like a beautiful floral dress, or a navy suit, or things like that. I do see clothes that people wear sometimes.
That's good, because that's the way they used to teach us, didn't it? I remember when that's how we were taught as well. But I'm just going to make something here, because Laura's mentioned about is black always negative? Now, for me, and this is my personal opinion, for me, when I see black, I understand it to be the most beautiful thing, because what it is for me is black is so full of color, got so many colors that are imperceptible to us as physical beings. And yet I don't see it as any negative, but it says, that you have the whole of the colors of the rainbow and beyond within that. So when I see black around somebody, it's not a negative. It is that you have innate knowledge or a greater understanding than those people who surround you. Am I being fanciful there, or?
Absolutely. There's wisdom in the color black. It just holds so much, doesn't it? And then the color cards that I use, the color black, it says from richness comes from the dark night, and that's so true. There is so many riches. You can turn anything negative into gold, whether that be helping other people, whether that be helping yourself, and that comes from darkness or the color black. It's only seen as negative because of words that we use to associate with it, like, oh, that person has a dark soul, and there's no real kind of dark soul. It's more about it's just a process of various other things. But black is, it's very contained, it's private, it's quiet, and that's why people who wear black might seem, you know, either standoffish or kind of just reserved, but it's not. It's actually very, very the opposite. So it's very contained. People contain knowledge, people contain themselves. It's a private color, but it's not negative in any shape or form.
No, because I really didn't think it. When I see people in black, I think, oh, wisdom, knowledge, you know.
Yes.
And then when I went to the spirit world and asked my guide about, I said, why do I see black? Why do I see things as black? Or why are there these black gaps when I'm looking for something? And he says, because you cannot perceive the color that we have here. It is not within your sphere. So
Yeah.
it appears as black to you, but know that it's not an empty space. And I was satisfied with that.
That's amazing.
Are black and white actually colours though? Because I'm sure I read somewhere that they're not actually colours as such.
I do think black is a color. White has all the colors in it, which is why it has all the colors of the spectrum in it. I would identify them as, yes, they are colors, because it's easier to, when you're in a session, to call them colors rather than, oh, this has all the colors of the spectrum, this is the color. It depends on certain colors reflecting other colors. Some are more illusionary than others, and they appear to be certain things rather than, say, a primary color, for example. But I would say yes, they are, but they have different vibrational frequencies.
Yeah. You know, well, I think when you mix the black and white, does it not become gray? And that shows in that as there are so many huge shades and variations of gray to me, which is another color I love as well. Because, you know, when we see a grey day outside, I don't see it as bleak. I see it, wow, isn't this fascinating? I can see the shapes within it. I can look at the different pictures and make forms out.
Amazing.
Isn't it wonderful how different we are when we look at things? This is what I love about, you know, us as people. You know, everybody can look at things in so many different ways, and it's quite fascinating, I think. And it's how life has shaped us through what we've been through and all the ups and downs and everything. So
absolutely.
Margie's just saying, thank you so much. It was more that the colour comes into my reality without seeking it out, whether it be a gift from someone, and then I find something that's the same colour, and it just keeps flowing with that colour, showing up heavily in my reality.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's being brought to her then. Yeah. So, I mean, enjoy it, Margie. I mean, enjoy the color if it's just something that you enjoy as well. And it's just enjoy the frequency, enjoy the energy that it brings you. And there doesn't always have to be a deep meaning or anything with anything, really. It's what you take it. Does that make sense? It's like, if you wanted to enjoy it, you enjoy it. If it makes you feel good, it makes you feel good. And that alone raises your vibrational frequency. And when that's raised, you are more attracting to higher frequency people, situations, and opportunities. So maybe that's what's coming in for new opportunities.
I find it also fascinating when you look at other cultures, like Indian people, they love color, don't they? And I love that festival where they throw all these colorful powders and you watch them mix up and that. And to me, that feels very spiritual.
It is amazing. And I've always been fascinated with like Ayurvedic medicines and things like that, which originates it goes back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And I well, I don't believe in coincidence anyway, but there's just something that is linked to the color. There's a secret key I feel that they knew all along with regards to color and its power and its healing abilities, and it can change your mood, and that's part of the medicine, let's say, if you want to call it that, because it's everything. It's vibration, and it lifts your spirit 100%.
It is fascinating. Sam B has just said that Hannah's aura is beautiful. I'm still very new for me, but it blows me away. She's just started seeing auras, she said. So,
oh wow!
So you've got a beautiful aura, says Sam B.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
with a beautiful white halo outlined with blue above the right pink blends into purple and an amazing green in the background. Wow.
Wow.
A veritable
That's
color of
fantastic.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you
so
very much.
That's
that's
brilliant.
lovely that that you can see that our viewer can see that as well,
Mm, it is.
So,
Yeah.
oh, Kelly asks a good thing. Now, this is quite interesting. What's a
It
good
is.
color for a career success? I mean, when we were younger, Cam, we always power dress, weren't we?
Yes,
Like
always.
black for official and red for assertiveness, What would
Mhm.
Yeah.
you say on
This
that, Hannah?
is an excellent question, and it's one I get asked a lot. The color is black. Okay, so for career success, I mean that doesn't mean you have to dress head to toe in black every single day, but make the most color that you wear to be black, because you're not revealing too much about yourself, which will indicate a subconscious interest in other people. Okay, you are not revealing what your plans are for the future necessarily, unless you obviously have meetings. Now, if you have an event that you are to go to that is work-based event, wear a bold color like red, so you stand out, so they don't know a great deal about you necessarily in work, and then when you're out of work you wear something like on the opposite side of the spectrum, which means you're not afraid to stand out, sorry, you're not afraid to be looked at, and these subconsciously are extremely good colors for promotion. They're very, very good colors for people trusting you, and these are key ingredients for you to climb the ladder in whatever you choose to do. So career success, there's many different aspects to what success is for one person to another, but keep your cards close to your chest and have that clear intention with yourself, but wear black predominantly, and a bold color if you're at an event somewhere.
Wow.
Can I just add on to that as well? I'm going to ask you a question here. What would you say if we wanted to, say we're in front of the public or an audience or demonstrate here, and we want to exude confidence, obviously it's a state of mind as well. But what would be the color or the predominant color would you say that we would need to show?
White is an excellent one. White shows that you can be trusted. White shows it's a purity, but it also shows confidence as well. So white is an excellent color. Again, confidence is all about a statement as well. So if you wear a bold color, obviously I don't advocate going outside of your comfort zone too much. If you hate a color, obviously you're not going to wear it, but make sure it's a color that you like. But confidence isn't necessarily set to a color. It's more about the intensity of that color more than anything else.
Oh, that's a
So,
good thing to
Karen, we
remember.
better wear a bed sheet with a streak of red in it or something.
Nickname.
It's interesting because I don't tend to wear a lot of white. It's not a color that I don't think looks very flattering on me, but it's sort of interesting. Helen just says, I wear very bright summery colors and gold. What does this mean? I don't like dark colors. It makes me feel drab and depressed.
Oh, that's interesting. So bright summery colors are wonderful. It basically means that you are working more with the top three chakras, which is more about your intuition and your communication. Not liking, say, denser colors like browns, blacks, and things like that means you might have, Helen, at one point in your life, worked hard to get to where you want to work to, whether it be spiritually, emotionally. Don't really put up with anybody's kind of lower frequencies anymore, so you could have taken yourself away from that, and what that does is it reflects what you like as colors, because it's going to be drawn subconsciously to the frequency rather than the color itself. So the higher frequency, the brighter the color, the more chakras you're kind of working with your heart, throat, and third eye, which is how you feel about yourself, self-love, how you communicate with yourself, and how you wish to see yourself, and that is like the main driving points, which is reflected in the colors. So moving away from people and situations which could have brought you down, and kind of turning your feet in a different direction and moving in that. So that would reflect, I would say, with those not liking certain ones and liking those bright ones.
Wow. Yet, you're so knowledgeable. I could
You
speak to
are,
you
Hannah.
all day on this
It's
subject.
it's been fabulous, sitting here listening to you. It's really, really interesting. We're going to
So,
take a little ad break now, just a short break, just so that we can so that Hannah could get her breath back, bless her, because she's been talking non-stop. So we're just going to take a little break. So Richard, if you could just roll the adverts, please.
Help Spiritual Psychics TV grow our TikTok channel. Connect with us at sptv UK. We're on a journey to reach our next milestone, and we need your help. Follow us today and support us going live. Imagine getting personalised readings, discovering your card of the day, and so much more. Don't miss out on the opportunity to explore new adventures with us. Follow, engage, and transform. Join our growing community at Spiritual Psychics TV with @SPTV UK on TikTok.
Introducing the SPTV app, your digital spiritual guide for an enlightening journey like no other. Immerse yourself in a world of audio and visual content crafted to inspire, educate, and entertain. Seek guidance with our card of the day, choosing up to 6 cards for personal insights. Enhance your daily life with our wellness section, featuring nutritious recipes, affirmations, and balanced living tips. Explore our spiritualism section for a deep understanding of the religion, its principles, and spiritual answers. Unravel the secrets of the clairs and broaden your spiritual horizon. Easily find local readers, therapists, centers, or churches with our comprehensive directory. Stay connected with live broadcasts, check our schedule, and get to know our insightful presenters. Delve into the meanings of angel numbers, crystals, and a comprehensive list of divination meanings. All of this and more, available for free on the SPTV app. Download now at sptv.uk/app and start your journey with your digital spiritual guide.
And we are back. So how wonderful,
Welcome back.
it's been this morning so far. We've been having lots of chat with Hannah about the world of colour and how she works, and it's been absolutely amazing. And thank you all for your wonderful questions. It's been brilliant. So Hannah, what have you got coming up? Where do you have you got any events? Where can our wonderful viewers get in contact with you?
You can contact me via my website. There is a contacts page there. My company name is Ivory Moon Holistics, so it's ivorymoonholistics.com. I do have a Facebook page of the same name, simply called Ivory Moon Holistics, which I take bookings and all inquiries via that direct messenger. So they're the two kind of avenues which you can contact me on, as well as Instagram. I do moon meditation events in Bristol. That's every fortnight, and that's working with the cycles of the moon. And if you follow me on any of my socials, you'll see where it is. It's pinned to the top, and it changes obviously every 2 weeks. And if you want to book in for a reading or colour therapy session, then there is a description of all my services so that you can kind of have a look and see.
So because our viewers are spread out all over the globe, so you can do this online from a tarot reading and a colour therapy?
Colour therapy is in person. I do my colour therapy in Bradford on Avon, which is, I don't know whether you're familiar with that. It's probably it's a 10-minute train journey from Bath in that area. That's where I do that. And I will be opening more in Bristol if anyone's in the Bristol area, but there will be news on that as to where and when. All readings can be done via Zoom, and it's recorded and then emailed to you afterwards. So you can have half an hour or 1 hour.
Sounds exciting. Wow, how amazing. Do you find that your online work has sort of like really picked up and hit, because I think you're on TikTok as well, aren't you? As well.
Yes, yeah. I'm quite new to TikTok, so it's still a thing. It's like, oh, what do I do here? So it's it's TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook I'm on. Lovely.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the online platform has sort of like broadened everybody's horizons to find people like yourself and me and Chris. We touch, we're global, we can touch so many more different people. So you've got something happening on Thursday, I believe. Is that a face-to-face event?
No, yeah, so yeah, the space to base in Bristol, it's working with the Leo moon. The moon is the fastest moving planet, basically. It's the only planet that goes through phases, which reflects us as people. We go through phases, and such a great time with Leo, because it's linked to the solar plexus, which is moving forwards. It's the lion, it's the confidence, and it's amplifying that energy in your system using meditation. Meditation is the bridge to wherever you want to get to. So gratitude and meditation for me are the two things. If you're going to do anything, try and bring that into your life, even if it's small, and then you'll start to see things shifting and changing in your life. 100%.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well,
Well, the moon
so
the other
could
night,
you, oh, sorry,
the
I was
moon
going to
the,
say, I
hold
know,
on, the moon the other night was so bright.
Yes.
It was like an electric light bulb in the sky. In fact, I took a picture of it and put it on Facebook because it just sort of like blew me away.
Yes.
It was really vibrant, wasn't it? I think it was on, I can't remember, Tuesday night or whenever it was.
So that
well,
was Friday.
Oh, Friday.
And well, the full moon was on Friday, and that was in Taurus, which is the earth sign element. It affected a lot of people in funny ways. You could have felt out of sorts on Friday, even throughout the weekend, like, fine. Or you could have had a lot of different reactions from other people around you, like some people out of sorts or stressed or anxious, or just making quite a lot of changes. And that is the effect or the influence, let's say, aspect of it, obviously, with regards to the moon and transition and change.
Mm.
well, I saw it yesterday morning, and when I got up at 7:30, I thought, God, it's really bright at that time
Yeah.
in the morning in the sky,
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
through our kitchen window, so you couldn't help but see it. So it's a beautiful, I'm always fascinated with the moon. I was going to actually ask you, I know you don't do your color consultations online, but if somebody was interested in, like what colors should, like Trevor's saying, what colors best for manifesting, could you offer those kind of services online?
I certainly could. If anybody has any questions, then what I would do is I would book you in for a chakra balancing session, which can be done on Zoom, and I implement color information and knowledge within that. But I'm not necessarily well, I won't be using light on the solar energy that is linked to helping. Like, say somebody sprained their ankle, I can't use that to use light to say reduce the swelling necessarily, but I can amplify a knowledge of color into chakra balancing, which can be done on Zoom. Yeah, so there's an element of it, but it won't be a color therapy session.
So that's just broadening your services. So brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent. So Nicola says she's had awful anxiety since Thursday for no reason. So I think that was just what you were talking about, the moon, would you say?
Yeah. So Nicola, it's when you feel that way, anxiety is, there's such a negative attachments to anxiety, but all anxiety is doing is showing you your way, and what are you triggered by, what are you for even if it's for no reason, there's something in your subconscious energy that's trying to talk to you. The moon will be trying to get that out, which is why it kind of lifts to the surface, say, because it's so magnetic, and we're all, we're 80-90% water. The moon influences water, so it's shifted something, Nicola, in you, and the anxiety is, you roll with it as much as you can. Easier said than done. But Thursday was the eve before the full moon, which means you're very receptive to moon frequencies and energies in general. So what I would advise for you is to, I don't know whether you have any smelling oils, but use lang ylang or clary sage to help kind of ground you a little bit, and use breathing techniques. But also green is an excellent color to surround yourself with light once you start to feel anxious. Just realize that it's nothing to fight. It's something to just swim downstream with, like a salmon, and just breathe into it as much as possible. And there will be a shift. You will feel differently. Maybe you release something you didn't realize, and there's like a change in energy, and that's filled with anxiety sometimes, and then it will leave you after 3 or 4 days. So see how you feel over the next coming days.
Wow.
Do well then.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you know what, Hannah? It's been an insight listening to you today. It's been really wonderful. You've got a lot of knowledge on colors there, and it's sort of it's made me
your
think
knowledge is a phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well done. I applaud you on it. I'm sure Karen does as well.
Absolutely. I love it when a person knows their subject, and you definitely do. And that's absolutely amazing. So people, if you need any help or anything, if you want to meet up with Hannah, get on her Facebook page, because people that know their stuff are worth spending time with and finding out about things. So Nicola just says, oh, thank you, that's quite interesting. So
Yes, yeah.
we're going to
Also,
be
Maybe Richard could put your little sign up somewhere where he, like
yeah.
where to contact you.
he's already done
Already
all
there.
that.
Sorry, I didn't see it, sir.
Yeah, he's already.
What I do offer is if you are able to access Bradford on Avon and you're not sure about colour therapy, I offer a 10-minute free consultation on the phone just to identify before you make a trip, if it's for you or not.
Wow.
That's brilliant. Well, I definitely recommend this lady because she knows her stuff. So it's been really wonderful to have your knowledge, and thank you so much for sharing it with us.
My pleasure.
And also on behalf of everybody that's received that knowledge back about the colours. Fascinating subject. And Helen's just said it's been really interesting. Yes, it definitely has, Helen. There's never a dull moment with us on Start Your Day.
No, there isn't. I think it's done what is something very rare for me. It's made me want to go and research. It's made me want to go and look into this a little bit more in depth. So I can only thank you for that, and on behalf of the viewers and Karen and myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chrissy's just said Hannah is wearing a lovely bright jumper on today. She loves your jumper.
Well, thank you very much. I thought I'd inject a little bit of autumnal as well, kind of getting the seasons.
We're in sync, Hannah.
We
We're
are
in sync.
Yeah, we are in sync. I sense you'd be kind of in autumnal colours, Karen. So
I'm just so spiritual, so I'm all right.
Oh, do you know what? We're never going to let him. I wish you hadn't have said that, Hannah, because he's just going to say I'm pure of heart and mind now. That's going to be his little mantra. I can see it.
Well, it's going to be that old adage, pure as a driven snow.
That should be like a plaque above your door before you walk in your house as well. It's look amazing.
Oh, now you've given me ideas.
I bet his lovely Sarah is going, oh no.
But funny enough, because she always says to me here, when we go clothes shopping, I always gravitate to the white and the grey, and I just love it. And she goes, more white? Why do you need more white or more cream? I say, well, I like it, but I haven't got this style, So,
Wow,
but it's just the one that I always gravitate to, and I just cannot help it.
And now you just have to say it's because I'm pure.
Well, that's it. And you know what Sarah's going to be telling you, don't you, Karen, when you have this discussion next. So maybe we can have one more question from our viewers before we go into our readings. Karen, do you think?
Yes, if we can, if there's one more question before we do some readings. And I think Hannah's also going to be doing a tarot reading today, and we'll do a couple of mediumship links. Margie, what would you say about intuitive people that are able to see aura colors in others and give interpretations that are not similar? For example, one intuitive having an interpretation for pink and another having a different interpretation, also separate and different to the universal chakra and aura color meanings.
I think if you are looking at certain auras, there's a reason for it. So it's down to your own interpretation. I think you get, like textbook readers, for example, or textbook definition or something. It's the same as going out to buy a crystal. If it's for relaxing, but it makes you feel motivated, don't not get it if you do it for what reasons you are drawn to. So if you see pink as one color but it's not textbook the other color, that's okay. It's all about intuition, and go with that, because your intuition is always right. So you're a light being here. You're here to give a message. You're here to kind of receive messages, and what feels right for you, always first and foremost go with that.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. When I used to go to this beautiful crystal shop in London years ago, and it was called Charlie's Rock Shop, and it was filled with so many crystals. And I used to stand, if I was buying a present for somebody, or even if I was buying them for myself, I'd stand at the door. Where do I need to go? And I would walk around the shop, and I would be pulled as to the crystals that I would want. I'd think of that person, and then I would go and be pulled in the direction and I would go to the crystals that I was pulled to, and the same for myself. I've got a beautiful labradorite piece that I sometimes wear on here, and I was in this shop in Harrogate, and I was more or less pulled to the back of the shop where this necklace was, and I just had to have it. I know a lot of women say that, well, I had to have it, but I definitely did, and it's been a constant piece that I wear a lot. So
Yes.
it's
People
interesting.
talking to you. You see, on a frequency level, you matched, you resonated. It's
Yeah.
almost like having a conversation. I went into a crystal shop once, and the person who was behind the counter, I don't think this person owned it. I asked a question, and he went, "Oh, actually, I don't believe in crystals." And all the energy clammed up like a clam. And I thought, he couldn't sense that, obviously, but I sensed it so much. So whilst things might not appear to be doing anything, it's talking to you. It's speaking to you on different levels, different frequencies at different times, which is why sometimes have you ever suddenly lost a crystal and think, where has it gone? And then because at that moment, the use isn't for you at that moment in time, or it's served its purpose, then you'll find it again maybe a few months later when it comes back. So yeah, so a long-winded way of saying energy talks, energy has a frequency.
Interesting. I love
Diana
it.
just wants to thank you so much, and she's found it so really interesting. And she's actually saying she will have to watch it again with a notepad to take some notes. So
Yeah.
that's absolutely astounding. That's brilliant. That speaks volumes. But
It
going
does.
back to that last question that was asked about, two different sensitives, they've got the same color, but both having different perceptions or interpretations of it. I would think, that I would say for me that neither of them are wrong, but one, it's on the frequency that they connect with it, or the depth on which they connect it, because one can see it in one aspect and another can see a little more in depth to that aspect. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right, and that's why there's no one's wrong, really, are they? Like, well, when somebody says, "Oh, I see it this way," that's great, because that's what the information they're receiving. That's intuitively what the heart is saying with that energy. And then somebody might see it completely differently, but looking at the same thing or feeling the same thing. But it's at different levels. It's like if you go into a building and there's 50 floors, someone's got off at the 5th floor, still in the same building, but looking at different things, and someone's on the 20th floor, same building, slightly different perspective. And that's the kind of the best way to, I guess, say it's under the same roof, but it's a different aspect.
Brilliant analogy. I'm going to copy that one.
Yeah.
So I think we've come to that point, Karen, where we'll need to be in tune here.
Yes.
So would you like to go first, or I'm having trouble with my ears?
I do have somebody with me, actually.
I could tell I'm psychic,
It's really interesting because I'm thinking more in colour now than what I normally do. So it's quite interesting. I've got a lady here. And she was very vibrant in the way that she in the way that she entered a room, and I just feel there was always a little bit of drama, and I know that she's mum, so I know that she's mum to somebody out there, but I just feel that people would smile and they would be uplifted by her because she was always brilliant about telling a story and making it sort of sound like it was a scene from a play. So there was a theatrical feeling about her. And I do feel here that she did like some vibrant colours. So I feel that she would have worn quite sort of red. Red would have been red would have been her colour. So I just feel here that she did suffer though with her heart physically, but also emotionally. And I feel she would take things to heart. She wore her heart on her sleeve as well, and she would get very emotional about things. So if anybody can understand this mum from the spirit world, please write it in the comments, because I just feel here that she's just she just wants to come in. She's making that entrance again. She sort of came in like a sort of a blast. And I just feel that she wants to reach out here because there's something going on within the family where I feel that she would have been in the thick of if she was here. And I do feel that she was a very protective mum as well, because she wants to gather you up and give you the biggest hug. So I know that that's the sort of thing that she would have done. And I feel there was this instinctiveness about her where you were, her family was her family, and whether you done right or wrong, she would always stand by you. So I've just got this very instinctive, this instinctive feel with this lady. So if you can understand this, right. So Leslie, mum wore red to my wedding. Leslie, you can understand a lot of this because I just also feel here that you must have mum's ring. So I'm going to engagement ring finger here. So I feel that you have mum's wedding ring or engagement ring. I also feel that there's lots of photos of your mum because I feel she did always jump in photographs. So Laura can understand this to maybe my nan. Well, I did feel it was mum, Laura, so I'm going to stick with Leslie because I did feel it was definitely mum. Leslie, can you understand where she sort of wants to really protect you, but sort of put her arms around you and take you away from a situation? Because I feel that she's sort of like very protective of you at the moment. And I just also feel she's drawing attention to this engagement ring as well. And so I feel that she wants you to wear it. I just feel that she's got a really lovely soft face, and I feel that, but she loved to be in the thick of things, and she's taken me to Christmas, and I know Christmas is important for a lot of people, but would you understand mum being in the thick of being games? And I don't know if it's Twister or something that you're playing, but I can just see you all on the floor, where you get in that game Twister. So I feel that she's laughing about that, and she would have had, oh, you can understand that, that's fabulous. And would you understand where she would have always been, those little portable cameras that you could use once and then go and get them developed? I feel that she would always have one of those to hand, and she would always take pictures. And she's talking about somebody would have had portable cameras, these cameras on the table at someone's wedding, so that you could take all the fun photographs. She wasn't one for taking sort of like the formal ones. It was always the comical ones when people were sort of like not when they didn't realize their photograph was being taken, like in the middle of a laugh, or stuffing a sandwich in your mouth or something like that. I just feel here that she just wants to come forward with a lot of love, Leslie, and she just wants to let you know that I'm still around. And she's also, I'm hearing Old Lang Syne. So I do feel there would have been gatherings where for Christmas and New Year, and I feel it was sort of like non-stop. And I feel here that there would have always been gatherings either in a pub or in people's houses. Very impromptu party lady, I feel here. And I feel that she would have thrown a few sandwiches and vol au vents together that wouldn't have sort of phased her in the slightest. The more the merrier. I feel that she would have had just an open house for everybody because she's got such a big heart. She had a big heart for people, and I do feel that sometimes that she got taken a little bit advantage of that. Sometimes people realize that she was such a kind, giving person, and sometimes, but do you know what she said? I would not change that. And she's saying you shouldn't change the way you are either. She said if you give, she said, you give willingly. And that was just the way she was. She's just a kind, caring lady, and she wants to give you so much love, but she also wants to give you those memories as well. And I do feel that she will be around you at Christmas because she loved, and I also feel that the she showed me this Christmas tree and it's got red and green all over it. So I know she would have been very traditional with the ornaments. Beautiful red and green Christmas tree here. So she's just such a flamboyant, lovely, vibrant lady, and she comes with a great deal of love. So thank you for working with me.
Oh, that was beautiful, Karen. Thank you. Thank you. I connect here. I know I've got the presence of a lovely lady coming forward here. I also got hearing the name of Margaret, not saying that this is possibly her name, but I know I want a connection to Margaret, but I also want a connection to the surname. I feel this is a surname of Avery, because I keep hearing Avery very distinctly here. But I also want a connection to a place, this feels to me, of Richmond. They all came in very quickly here. So I know that I don't know where Richmond is, or it could be a part of an address, or it could actually be a place itself. But I know there has to be a connection to it. And this lady, I know that she was quite a Richard just say it's in London, but I also feel it could be a bit further afield away than that too. Um, I do feel that with this lady, very forthright. I feel almost a little brusque at times with her too. But she talks about the waterworks. She had a problem with the waterworks, and it would be a little bit like a fire for her too, which would lead into indigestion as well here. So sounds like oh, brilliant. Okay. And I know here too, Diana, would you understand a connection? Because she shows me to loving red lipstick and would have had a red purse or red bag. Would you understand that as well? Because she takes me to this bag. But as I'm hearing that, wow, I'm hearing the clasp. So it would have been, I don't know what you call them, not very big in handbags being a man, but I know there would be I hear the snap of a clasp there too. So, and I do feel if you're going in my handbag, beware of that clasp. It snaps very tightly around your fingers. All right. So she was this real type of person, what we call the salt of the earth, very down to earth, very straight, and there'd be no messing with this lady. She'd tell you exactly what it is. But I also feel too that I want to talk about you having either a diamond ring, and also, well, there must be a diamond earring. The other one's missing. I want to talk about one diamond earring missing. So I'm not sure whether I think there's a Richmond in Yorkshire too. Thank you, Trevor. Okay. With this lady as she comes forward, I know that as she goes back to this problem of the waterworks, I want to talk about emotional waterworks. So I feel as though there would be here, there would be something emotional going on at the moment that could have led to tears or that inward crying here, where I feel quite emotional about the past and what is happening here too. Oh, Terry Napier's in Richmond, Indiana. Does this resonate with you, Terry? Oh, Diana, absolutely spot on so far with everything. Oh, brilliant, Diana. Oh, okay. Can I go back to this bag? Because she's very proud of this bag. She's saying, I got it wrong. It's a bag. And she's showing me a red, it looks like a red patent bag, very shiny to me here. So this lady was quite a precise lady and would like things to be quite correct with her telling me off in this way. I know that this lady would love Christmas, but it was more about the giving of oneself than the giving of presents. So she would love to be involved in making Christmas, things like proper little paper chains we used to make when we were children. She'd be very involved in this. And I also feel like I'm making biscuit decorations, or that's what it seems to me, sorry, that we would have hung on the tree. So I feel like we baked some little decorations also that we hung up on tree. So it's all about those values. And she talked about getting back to those values within your life again, so that it gives you that grounding, that stability once more. And she's just wrapping you in these lovely colors. After we've been talking about colors, I know I want red and I want the green. So I want the red for the grounding, feeling that solid in your space, but that warmth of the green to come around me, which is that emotional healing for me, as I described that. So this lady is a beautiful place, grandma. Just heard grandma. This is grandma. You know, I, I say to here too. I'm sorry, I'm laughing here because I'm thinking, why the heck am I seeing a Frankfurter sausage? So she either loved this Frankfurter sausage, or there could be a connection to with Germany. So if you could answer on that, but understand that this lady is very much around you here, very much wanting to say, realize you are the diamond. There's nothing missing here. It's in you. There's nothing missing. Just reconnect with those values that have always been there. You know, they were there as a child. They're still there now. So I'll leave you with her love and say thank you and God bless you.
Oh, that was lovely, Chris. Absolutely brilliant. Lovely. See, the colours inspiring us, Hannah.
There you go. I was noticing all the mentions of colour there. It's wonderful.
Invariably, as we do something each week, it actually it creeps into this
It does,
here.
it does.
So
Yeah.
Hannah, do you want to share anything with our viewers, a reading now, or?
Tarot, I mean, there's tarot. I mean, I don't do mediumship readings, but if anybody would like a,
Would you like, well, just pick one card out or something?
yeah, should we get them like the collective energy, let's say, and let's
Okay.
have a look and see what advice. So yeah. Oh, okay. So between the number between 1 and 40. So if I pick a number, 24. Ah,
Is that 3 times over?
Laura, hi. So this is, I'm going to do a couple of cards for you, just see what is coming up. And this is obviously a general, so take what you want from it as well. But I'm just going to see what energy is coming up for you, just connecting. We start off, sorry, one's falling on the floor there. We start off with an ace, and this is the Ace of Cups. When we see an ace in tarot, it's basically turning the page. This is turning the page emotionally. The dove there can indicate a sense of peace coming in your way. So if somebody's done you wrong slightly, so can you see that now? Yeah, okay. Fantastic. So this is the turning of a new page emotionally, Laura. So this could be you looking at the past and thinking, thank you for the lessons, I'm going to move forwards with this. Or this would be somebody who is coming into you to either peace offering or whatever that is. So obviously you will know who the people are around you, if anyone's done you wrong. Do not substitute anything, Laura, when this card comes in. Stand true in your conviction, because in your subconscious what you have is you have the 7 of Swords, which can mean somebody either running away from a situation or an avoidance of a situation. Whatever has happened recently, it will be rectified in the not too distant future, because you're ready to turn a new page, basically. Justice will be done as well, so it's the scales of justice. So I do feel there's been something untoward. It doesn't have to be necessarily with love, but it can be with work colleague, family member, whatever that imbalance was, you're ready to move forwards, whether it be from you, yourself, or certainly from the person in question.
Wow.
Lovely.
So Laura, does that resonate?
Lovely. Well,
Oh, Diana says, thank you so much.
Diana's just saying thank you so much. This is to you, Chris. That was very emotional, but very lovely at the same time. So she's just saying thank you.
My pleasure, Diana, just as long as it serves.
Oh,
you know?
that's lovely. That's lovely.
You know, isn't it amazing listening to all 3 of us, how so different, but yet still of service?
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And that's what it's about. You know, whether it's tarot, which help in everyday life, but spirit will want to manifest that through whatever means possible.
Absolutely. It's different avenues, different channels. It's like a highway,
Absolutely.
isn't it? You turn different routes, but you end up receiving being where you're supposed to be, hearing what you're supposed to hear.
What's interesting, Laura's just saying yes, thank you, so she understands that, so well done.
Brilliant.
What's interesting is I can remember when I first came into spiritualism, it was very much, you didn't touch on the cards, or psychism was sort of like a bit of a, oh no, that's psychic, we don't do that, you know, but I love the psychic faculty. I love working with cards. I love working And I do sometimes just work psychically on here when we work with sometimes cards. And the other week I pulled a philosophy card and worked with that, and then I brought spirit in. So I think, you know, you can work in so many different ways. We can be more versatile. As much as I love linking with the love from the spirit world, there's so many different techniques and so many ways that we can work. And also, you know, when somebody comes to me for a private reading, I link with them psychically to see where they are. I'm sure you do as well, Chris. You just sort of link with that person to connect with them. And I'm sure Hannah looks at their clothes to see what they're wearing, to see what resonates with them. So we're using that psychic faculty all the time in however way we work. We're looking at that energetic field around them to see where they
I
are.
feel to be the good old rounder that you can't, you know, this is my opinion and my opinion only because obviously we belong to different places and everywhere has different views. But my view is that we can't operate any other way. It's all symbiotic, you know, it's a flow and ebb. I mean, you know, I used to work in a high powered job and we had a term that called peaks and troughs. And I think that really comes through the same with in our spiritual work. You know, we rise with the spiritual, but we just dip into this psychic as well, and it flows seemingly. Doesn't mean there's a break in that at all, but it means it's all sinuous and flowing in the right way.
Totally agree. Yeah.
And also with our lives as well, you know, no one's life is perfect all of the time. We have the peaks and troughs of life, ups and downs, things that we go through. But, you know, it's how we get through them, how we come out the other side that's sort of important, you
Can
know?
I just come in here? I'm getting something here, getting a really emotional gentleman wanting to come through here. And he keeps tapping me on the shoulder and saying, get on with it, get on with it. But as I'm hearing here, I want to go very much to this heart. I want to go to the heart here. And I believe this is either father or grandfather, because I want to talk about, I didn't leave you, and I know you didn't leave me. You know, and I know that this is not just talking about the boundary of death. I believe this also happened in life. And he just keeps repeating this word, I didn't leave you and I haven't left you now. And I know that's a great emotion because I want to talk about it. He's talking to a lady. He wants to talk to a lady here that she's been carrying this burden of guilt, that perhaps enough wasn't done, perhaps enough wasn't said, that, you know, that you've tried to push this away, but it's still in the back of my mind here. And I know that you carry on with this too. I got to see he keeps showing me the bridges here. So I know that we've been trying to cross this bridge, trying to mend this bridge, and but we keep coming back to this same point. And he just wants to say, time to let it go. And you were always my little gem, he says. You were always my little gem, and you will always be that, you know? So I just want to put that out there. Could somebody recognize this for this beautiful gentleman? I know as he shows me his face towards the end of his life, he became very gaunt and quite ashen in his appearance. His complexion became very ashen. So I know he was not a well man at all, you know, but he was a lovely man and very typical man. And I think, you know, very much in meat and two veg man, I want to say. So very down to earth, you know, very down. So is this resonating with you, Kerry, here? Because you're saying it's so hard to let go. I want to say that this still haunts your dreams. Maybe that's too strong a way of putting that forward, but I know that this still comes to my mind in my dreams, and it's so hard to, you know, understand where we went, where we went wrong. I also feel here, if I've got this correct, there was a moving away. There was a moving away physically in life with this. So if either Jane or the other lady can resonate with that because I do feel that this is important too. Jane, that was my dad. And Kerry Ann, yes, okay. But I feel too, would you have to connect with another country as well? I want to get connection with another country too, with uh, with this gentleman and yourself. But he talks about my daughter, so I know it's daughter because he says, my daughter, I never stopped loving you. I never stopped and I never will, you know? And at one point, there must have been a point where you felt that that love wasn't as strong, you know? And he just says, it never diminished and it never will because you are my baby girl. You are my baby girl. Interestingly enough, and mentioning James before, I want to memory around the little tiny iced gems, those little tiny biscuits, those little icing biscuits that they used to call ice gems. And I know I'm popping one in your mouth right now. So yes, he came, Jane, he came from Ireland. Brilliant. So you would have, I take it, moved here to England or abroad, somewhere, wherever you are, because I felt that separation. I felt that separation. Two, also in Ireland, could you also connect with the bridge near where this where your family home was? Because I am seeing a metal bridge. So I know there would have been a small metal bridge that would have taken me over a little body of water. Oh, all right. Yes, I can relate. Brilliant. Take this man's love, understand he's never left you, and he just giving you here, taking off from round his neck, a little Saint Christopher, and that will have a lot of meaning. So God bless you and thank you very much. I just had to get that out of the way. Sorry, Karen.
That's up. Do you know what, Chris? Nothing sounds as good as spirit feels, and we really felt that today. So thank you so much. That's what my teacher Janet Parker used to say to us as students, and I still stand by that. And I could really feel that love of that dad there. So absolutely wonderful. So absolutely brilliant. And Jay's just said yes, it's in Dublin. So
oh,
that's
excellent.
brilliant. That's brilliant.
Excellent. It's lovely when we can connect that you know, those two bits.
Yeah.
And, you know, there is, I hope this shows everybody that there is no separation. There is no gap. There is no, you know, there is no distance between those
Yeah.
that we love in the spirit and those, and vice versa.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It is amazing when the spirit world come through, and they come through with a lot of love, and all the things that we do to understand who we are, working with color, working with being more in touch with nature, all these things. I think it's learning about the true people that we are. And we're now sort of like coming towards the end of the show, unfortunately. You know, it's been absolutely fantastic today. Hannah, you've been a beautiful insight to us today. And we've absolutely enjoyed having you with us. And I know all the SPTV family feel the same. That's why I'm saying the royal we, because all the questions, all the things that they've been saying. And I think you're going to have a few more followers on your social media pages from our lovely SPTV family. We've certainly got one with me, and I'm sure Chris is going to start following you too, because I love what you do and it's fascinating stuff. And if you ever do
It's
any
been thrilling, absolutely.
podcasts or anything like that, please keep in touch with us because it's an interesting subject. And as Kelly has just said, been awesome. Fabulous.
Well, perhaps in the future you may want to come on again if, you know, grace us with your absolute knowledge.
Yes, we'd love to have you back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, Karen, as we say, we're coming to the end. You're giving me a beautiful week off next week, aren't you?
Well, I guess you get a week off from me.
Exactly,
Yes.
that's what I'm meaning.
Oh, thanks. He loves me. He loves me really. No, next week I won't be here. I'm going to be in sunny Scotland or snowy Scotland, whatever. But I'm going to beautiful Scotland. I'm going to be visiting a friend, but also working there too. So yes, we're going to be in Glenrothes, and we are going to be doing a wonderful event. So it's on my social media if anybody wants to have a look. There are tickets available. And I'm looking forward to working with good friends. I always love to work with good friends, and I'm working with the wonderful Clara McFarlane and Neil Payne and Natalie Walker and Trace Clark. So we're going to have a fantastic time, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. So I'm going to be in Scotland, so I won't be here, but you will have, ladies and gentlemen. Chris has also got a lovely, beautiful redhead to take my place, somebody who you already know, and that is the beautiful Reverend Ashley Oliver. So she is going to be taking my place just for 1 week, and then I will be back on I think it's the following week. Is it the 2nd? I can't remember when it is,
Yes,
but the
it's the
following week, 2nd of
Yeah.
December, I will be back with you all. So you only get rid of me for 1 week, Chris.
Oh, you can take an extra week. Are you going to get snowed in? Sure. I hope you've got your tartan packed, by the way.
No, I have. Well, no, I haven't actually. I haven't got any tartan packed, but
Talking
I'll
about those
hopefully.
lovely colours.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I'll have to create my own autumnal tartan. I'll have to speak to Clara. Thank you, everybody. I intend to have a good time. It's always good fun with Clara and the gang, so I'm looking forward to it. Hannah, thank you so much for being with us again. And
Pleasure.
It's
also
been a
next
wonderful
week,
time.
you've got something else coming up, Chris, because as well as Ashley, you may remember last week we had the beautiful Kerry, and she's going to be doing a little 5-minute segment like Kate does. So we've got another outside broadcast as well from Kiri, who's coming on next week. So it's all happening, you know.
It certainly is.
And this week
And I'm
we've got
loving our viewers are taking up the colour challenge. Look at the colours, the little hearts, all different colours
absolutely,
coming up.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So they're
We've
taking
got
it to heart
Richard
too.
tomorrow. We've got Richard tomorrow at 7. And on Thursday we have Emily Baker at 7. So there's always things going on SPTV.
So thank you, everybody. I look forward to being with you all again with Ashley and Kiri. So if you're having whatever you're doing this week, have fun, enjoy, and we'll be back with you next week. And Karen, give my love to the gang and have a brilliant time.
I will. And thank you, everybody, for your good wishes. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time. And I will connect with you on Facebook and social media, Hannah. And thank you again for your beautiful insight and your knowledge. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Pleasure. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.